It was a Thursday evening when I saw her. Lena, my wife of 8 years, in another man's arms. I was walking past a cafe on the corner, the one she said she was meeting a friend at, and I froze. At first, I thought my eyes were deceiving me. Maybe it was someone who looked like her. Maybe it was a trick of the light. But then I saw her laugh. That laugh. The one I'd fallen in love with. Only it wasn't directed at me. My chest tightened, my stomach dropped, and the world seemed to tilt sideways. I stood there, frozen on the sidewalk, watching, feeling everything I believed about our marriage shatter in slow motion. It didn't start that day, of course. There had been whispers of doubt for weeks. Tiny things I tried to dismiss. Missed calls that went straight to voicemail. Texts she suddenly hid when I walked into the room. Her distracted smiles and vague excuses about overtime or late meetings. I had asked myself repeatedly, am I imagining things? Am I overreacting? I want to believe I was wrong. That trust could carry us through anything. But the signs kept piling up. Once, I caught her phone buzzing with a message previewed. Can't wait to see you tonight. Nothing else. No context, just those words. I tried to brush it off as innocent. Maybe it was work. A friend. Someone from a hobby she hadn't told me about. I wanted to trust her. I needed to trust her. Then came that Thursday. I had finished work early and decided to surprise her, walk past a cafe, and maybe grab us a coffee on the way home. I never expected to see what I saw. There she was, leaning into him, his arm around her shoulders, hers draped loosely across his chest. The intimacy wasn't loud or dramatic. It was quiet, casual, the kind of closeness that didn't belong to me. I could feel my lungs tighten, as if the air itself had betrayed me. My mind raced with disbelief, anger, sorrow, and a million tiny questions I didn't want to ask but couldn't stop thinking. How long? Who is he? Did she even love me anymore? I didn't confront her that day. I couldn't. I walked home, the world a blur of city lights and muffled sounds. My thoughts were a storm. Memories of laughter and late-night talks, the mornings we spent curled together with coffee, the simple, comforting routines, all now tainted. Every kiss, every hug, every quiet word seemed like it could have been rehearsed, or worse, meaningless. Over the next week, I became a shadow of myself, observing, questioning, second-guessing. I noticed the subtle signs I had ignored before, the way she tucked her phone into her bag, how she hesitated when I asked about her day, how she laughed at something that wasn't funny. I felt my trust unraveling thread by thread, and every memory suddenly carried a sting I hadn't expected. The turning point came unexpectedly. Her phone buzzed on the kitchen counter while she was in the shower. My curiosity, mixed with a painful need for clarity, got the better of me. I picked it up. Messages, pictures, conversations with him. Evidence she hadn't realized I could see. The world felt like it was collapsing around me. I didn't shout. I didn't throw things. I just sat there, holding her phone, trying to make sense of the person I thought I knew. When she came out of the shower, dripping and oblivious, I asked quietly, my voice tight but steady, "Who is he?" Her face changed instantly. Shock, panic, guilt, it all played across her features. She fumbled for words, then finally admitted the truth. It started a few months ago. I didn't mean for you to find out like this. I'm sorry. Hearing her speak, I felt 1,000 emotions at once. Anger, betrayal, grief, but also sorrow for her for flawed human choices that led us here. She wasn't a villain. She was a person who had made mistakes, just as I had made mine in thinking trust was enough to prevent heartbreak. We sat in silence for a long time. I asked questions, some gentle, some sharp. She answered as best as she could, her voice breaking, explaining, justifying, regretting. I listened, my heart heavy, my mind replaying all the moments of our marriage with a new lens of doubt. But I also realized something. Betrayal doesn't erase the love that was real. It only reveals the cracks you couldn't see. The emotional fallout was brutal. Every familiar place, every song we had loved, every inside joke, it now carried a bitter weight. I questioned myself constantly. Did I miss something? Could I have prevented this? Was our love ever enough? The pain was raw, personal, and inescapable. But gradually, I began to reclaim pieces of myself. Simple acts, going for long walks alone, meeting friends I had neglected, writing down my feelings. Each step reminded me that while love can betray, self-respect and dignity remain mine to protect. When we finally faced each other again, it wasn't with shouting or ultimatums. It was quiet, painfully honest. She apologized fully, not expecting forgiveness, only acknowledging the damage she had caused. I listened. I forgave not for her, but for me. Forgiveness wasn't about erasing the past or pretending trust wasn't broken. It was about freeing myself from the weight of anger and heartbreak, about regaining control over my own life. The last time I saw him, the man she had leaned on, I felt no desire for revenge. I didn't need to shout or confront. I simply let go. It wasn't bitterness that guided me. It was clarity, the understanding that my life, my heart, and my future were mine to rebuild. Walking away from her wasn't easy. I grieved, not just for betrayal, but for the dreams, the future we had imagined together. But I also discovered strength, a quiet resilience I didn't know I possessed. I realized that heartbreak doesn't have to define you. Pain doesn't have to break you. And love, even when it betrays, can teach you lessons about self-respect, courage, and the power of moving forward. I will never forget that Thursday, the sight of her in another man's arms, what a hollow ache that followed. But I also will never forget the quiet strength I found in the aftermath, the ability to face betrayal, absorb it, and rise again. Life, I learned, isn't about clinging to the people who hurt you. It's about reclaiming yourself, step by step, memory by memory, until you are whole again.